Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Barbara and today we're going to be going over Neptune in the 7th house. So this video is for you if you have this particular placement. If you're a cross watcher, welcome as well. So wherever we have Neptune in our natal charts is the area, so we might not necessarily see it clearly. There might be illusions around this area. You guys might think one thing and then the other thing ends up happening. Also, it can be the area through which we escape. We go into the metaphysical planes. We might spend a lot of time daydreaming about this particular area or just dreaming overall. Romanticizing is really the word that I'm looking for here. That's very Neptunian energy. Now, what I will say about Neptune overall though is the divine version of Neptune. When you are able to grasp and master the energy, you're able to basically think something and eventually manifest it and anchor it into your physical reality. Now, what I will say is having Neptune in the 7th house, because it does deal with your interpersonal relationships, your friendships, your partners, your romantic relationships, your business partners, really all interpersonal relationships. The Neptunian energy here, if you're trying to manifest a specific person, you could be interfering unintentionally with that person's free will. This isn't anything fear-based. I'm just letting you guys know. So let's say if you guys are looking for love or the one or a specific situation, which Neptune in the 7th house definitely will be looking for, you are idealizing this particular area in your life to basically focus on saying it more so generally or more so the type of person you guys are trying to attract into your life rather than focusing it on a particular person. Because when you guys do that, once again, you could be unintentionally affecting that person's free will with your thoughts. This is something important to keep in mind. But if you guys focus on the general idea of what you guys want, the type of person you guys want to attract, maybe the type of relationship you guys want to attract, this is kind of like the tricks of the trade. You guys might have an easier time anchoring that in versus channeling and focusing all of that energy on a particular person. What I will say for Neptune in the 7th house as well is because you guys can idealize relationships when you have this particular placement, really fantasize about them, romanticize them. You guys can put that energy on a particular person. You guys can also go into the shadow of this energy where you guys go into the codependency of it, maybe constantly watching readings, tarot readings, looking for answers and confirmations that yes, maybe this is the person for you, and kind of also wasting time in the process. At the end of the day, what you know is what you know. But what I will say for this particular placement, Neptune in the 7th house, is that if it's not happening in your physical reality, let's say someone's not actively pursuing you, or you guys maybe haven't even met this person yet or something of the sort, to basically focus on it being in the physical reality, really taking that Neptunian energy and figuring out a way to ground this. This is kind of the whole thing with the Neptune energy, because the Neptune energy can go into the crown chakra, it can go into the metaphysical planes, and this is going to be the area of relationships for you guys. There's things you guys aren't going to see clearly here. You guys might not see people clearly. It's conjuncting your descendant as well. So what might happen in this area as well is, like, because Neptune does idealize and the descendant can deal with our own shadow sometimes you guys can attract people into your life that maybe are mirroring your shadows back to you, but you guys might not accept these, or once again, you guys might not see these clearly, or you guys might not even be aware that this person maybe is exhibiting some sort of shadow trait or even toxic behavior, because that Neptune in the 7th house energy is very much idealizing. That's the whole thing here. It idealizes, it romanticizes, it thinks like, oh, when I get this person, everything's going to be great. It's always going to be looking for the one. So the whole thing with this energy is, once again, it can very much get sucked into the energy of twin flames or soulmates. I'm not saying these things don't exist, but what I will say, once again, the whole thing with this energy is, if it's not happening in the physical reality, you guys can struggle and go into escaping out of your body, codependent energy, watching readings all the time, wanting confirmations. It's kind of just wasting time if you think about it. It really is wasting time, but that's kind of something that you guys are here to integrate as well, because it's like Neptunian energy is idealistic, but so is Libra energy as well, which is that 7th house energy. Libra's always looking for the one. It idealizes relationships. It feels like it's not complete, the energy overall, if it is not in a unit with another person. You guys might get into situations because you guys are really seeking the one. You guys can put that on the wrong person or the wrong situation, and then you can end up in situations where, once again, they might be toxic, or they might not be for your highest good, or it might not even be a healthy dynamic. And this can also happen in your friendships. Keep in mind, 7th house can also deal with friendships. So same thing, because Libra energy always needs to be in a unit, you'll find that this energy sometimes, if it's not a romantic partner, they always have a best friend of some sort, like someone, once again, where they basically feel like they are in a unit with another person. If it goes into the shadow, it can be very codependent. Same thing in your friendships. You guys might settle for people that maybe gave you bad vibes to begin with. Maybe you guys overlooked it. Maybe you guys idealized the person. Another huge thing that can happen here as well, also in relationships, is that you guys can fall in love with the potential of somebody. So the whole thing here, once again, the tricks of the trade, I guess you can call it, is that if it's not happening in your physical reality, if that person's not behaving like that in their physical reality, if, again, they're not making the money that you guys can see them potentially making, or whatever it is, like things like this, or the career that they have a promise that they want to do or the dreams that they have, and it's not actually happening in the physical reality. Let's say this is something important to you. I don't know, like let's say you guys fall in love with someone and this person's becoming a doctor, something like this, and they are becoming a doctor, but they're not a doctor yet. Well, who knows, right? The potential is there, but maybe they're going to drop out of med school or things like this, and then everything's going to start to crumble because you guys fell in love with the idea of this person being a doctor and not actually the person themselves. This is the whole thing with the Neptune energy overall for everyone and their natal chart. You have to work a little harder to ground, to try to see that particular area clearly, to try to see what actually works for you. Overall, for Neptune energy, Pisces energy, 12th house energy, my suggestion always for these individuals is to first learn what your own energy is, what you guys like, what you guys don't like, what you guys would want in a partner, because you guys have it in the 7th house. What are non-negotiables, like these types of things, like really figure out what it is that you guys want, because then you guys are going to know when you meet someone, does this person have these traits that I'm seeking, or starting to get infatuated with the idea of someone, because this is a huge thing that can take place with Neptune in the 7th house. Also, this particular energy can fall in love with people that might not necessarily be available in one way, shape, or form. Maybe they're emotionally unavailable, maybe they're in a relationship or something of the sort. Once again, you are falling in love with the potential of maybe what you guys can be. Maybe you guys tapped into some sort of energy that's happening on the metaphysical plane. Maybe it's not actively happening in this physical reality, and once again, it's to your own detriment. That's what I will say about Neptunian energy, and especially because you guys have it in the 7th house, and you guys probably are going to have this deep desire within for the ideal partner and ideal relationship, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you guys won't get that, because that's the thing. The Neptune energy can manifest that, it can bring it through, but Neptune can also romanticize. So let's say you guys put this energy on the wrong person, well then you guys can be disappointed maybe if that person doesn't live up to maybe the expectation you guys have of them or of the relationship. You'll hear this type of energy a lot of the time saying things like, oh, but they can be like this, or they maybe gave you guys a little bit of hope that they're going in that direction, and then boom, you go into Neptune, you go into the crown, you're like, oh my gosh, like it's happening. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it wouldn't, but the whole thing that I'm trying to convey here is just make sure that this person or friend or even business partnership, if it's like a contract where you guys are negotiating something with someone, make sure that it's fitting into what you guys need, that you guys aren't compromising too much, once again, of those non-negotiables, reading everything a few times if it is a contract, or if it's a friend and you guys pick up on the red flag and you guys maybe just met this person. Intuition doesn't lie ever about people or situations. It's just, once again, you guys have the Neptune in here. Neptune's going to go into the idealization. Now, what I will also say about this particular placement is these people might be very much into like fantasy novels or like romantic novels. You guys can definitely channel this energy in that direction as well, depending on the rest of your natal chart. Maybe you guys have all these ideas of like romance stories, and maybe you guys can satisfy those fantasies either through writing about it, writing novels. Depending on the rest of your natal chart, you guys could even be interested in acting, for example, in those types of movies where they have those huge love stories. So at least the energy within you is being expressed in one way, shape, or form. So that's the whole thing to understand here. Neptune energy in your natal chart can very quickly fall into the shadows. So that's why I make these videos, to bring it to your awareness that you guys might have to actively work in this area to ground, to be realistic, to be in the physical reality, know what it is that you guys want, what it is that you guys deserve, what you guys are looking for in your friendships, relationships, business partnerships, all 7th house like things. So with all that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video here on Neptune in the 7th house. I do hope you guys enjoyed my video. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the day.